Hi, today I'll be talking to you about investing money, in particular calculating simple interest. Simple interest is the extra amount that you pay back when you borrow money or the amount that you earn when you invest or lend your money to someone else. Simple interest is a method that calculates a fixed percentage based on the initial amount or the principal, and you get that same amount every time. So when I say every period, that's just talking about the time, how often it will be counted. So it's either every year, every month, every week, so on and so forth. The formula for calculating simple interest is you get the principal, you multiply by the rate, and then you multiply by the number of periods. In other words, I equals to PRN. The amount owed or future value. Interest is added to the principal, and that will give you your final amount, which is also known as the future value. So your amount is principal plus interest, or A equals to P plus I. Here's an example. Jessica invests $16,000 for 3 years. What is the minimum rate of simple interest needed for her to earn $2,000? Okay, so going back to our formula, I equals to PRN. Now here we want our interest to be that. This is our principal and this is our N. And we want to find R. That's what we were asked to do. So interest was $2,000. P was $16,000. And multiplied by R and multiplied by 3, which was our N. Now rearranging this, you would divide by the 16,000 and you divide by the 3 to get rid of them. So on this side, 2,000 divided by 16,000 and also divided by 3 will give you R. Okay, now that everything's on the other side, we have R by itself, and what we can do is flip it around and put it in the calculator. You'll get 0.0416 repeater. Now rounding up to the nearest 2 decimal places, you get 4.17%. Okay, so just changing that decimal into a percentage. Next example, Alicia pays back $40,000 on a $20,000 loan at a flat interest rate of 10%. What is the term of the loan? Now this question is a bit interesting because it tells you how much they pay back. So that will be your amount. Your principal was $20,000, which is here, and your rate is 10%. Now what they want you to find is the term, which is your N. So the only equation we have that uses N is this one, I equals to PRN. Now the problem with this is we don't have I, but there is another formula, A equals to P minus, I equals to P minus A minus P, A minus P. So your interest will be your final amount, take away your principal. So that will give you your extra amount. So let's use this first. A minus P, so $40,000, take away $20,000 is $20,000. Now that we have our I, we'll go on and substitute this into here. And we'll have $20,000 on the left hand side should be your principal, which is $20,000, multiplied by your rate, which is 10%. I'm changing that to a decimal, multiplied by N. Now, just as the previous question did, we're going to divide by this and by this to get it away from the N. So $20,000 divided by $20,000 and 10%. And that will be our N. Putting this into the calculator will give us 10. And because this doesn't quite tell us how often it is, let's assume this was per annum, then this would be years. Here is another example. Nathaniel borrowed $250,000 at a flat rate of interest of 6.5% per annum. This rate was fixed for 3 years on the principal. He pays back the interest only over this period. How much interest is to be paid over 3 years? Well, let's have a look at our interest formula, which is I equals to PRN, which is the principal, $250,000, multiply the rate, 6.5% or 0.065 in decimal form, and we multiply this by the term, which is 3 years. In the calculator, we will get $48,750. Now the next part is a lot more involved. After paying the fixed rate of interest for the first year, he finds the bank will decrease the flat rate of interest to 5% if he pays a charge of $1,000. How much will he save by changing to the lower interest rate? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out how much he pays in the first year, because he does pay the first year off before the offer comes up. So the first year, the interest is going to be $250,000 multiplied by that 0.065, and that turns to be $16,250. That's how much he pays in the first year. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out how much he pays for the rest of the term. So his interest rate changes to 5% on the same principal. So 0.05, and there are 2 more years remaining. So times by 2, in the calculator we get $25,000. So altogether, how much interest does he pay? You add those two together and you will get $41,000, and it's $41,200, sorry. Now, the question was asking how much did he save? Okay, how much did he save? Which means we need to compare this number to this number. In doing so, the savings are $48,750, take away $41,200, and doing this in the calculator gives us $7,500. So he saves a total of $7,500 by getting our reduced interest rate.